Hey everyone, my name is Dr. Dolores Tarver. I'm a licensed psychologist here in Georgia, bringing you another mental health moment. And today we are going to be talking about your guide to greatness. Now, I know a lot of you watched The Last Dance that premiered on ESPN yesterday that chronicles the Bulls' epic wins and championships in the 90s, but also specifically looking at Michael Jordan, who is, I think, probably not arguably one of the greatest basketball players of all time. I think some people may argue whether he is the greatest player of all time or not. But I thought that was confirmation that this topic would be a good one for us to discuss. And then I was also inspired by friend of mine, Bishop Julian Lott, was talking on Sunday in one of his virtual services about vision. And he was saying some of the things that interfere with us being able to get to the goals that we have that are set to be a part of our purpose is that oftentimes either we can't see, our vision is blocked, or our vision is blurred. And those are the three things I'm going to be talking to you about today. So let's start with can't see, right? So literally, I cannot visualize the goals that would be needed for me to be successful. And sometimes we just grow up in families, we grow up in environments where we're not taught how to see goals. We are simply encouraged to exist in the moment, to take care of the things that are important for us to eat, for us to have shelter, for us to have clothes. And so no one really sits down with us and talks about, okay, what would a goal look like? How do you set up a goal? What are the things that would be important for you to achieve something? We're literally around people that don't encourage us. And so possibly they're negative. Maybe they're fearful. And so this negativity is coming from this place of fear. And so because they're scared for our safety or scared that we may take a risk that may put us in danger, or that they are not comfortable because they've never reached some of these milestones that you're aiming for, that they're fearful and encouraging you not to pursue things because of their own misunderstanding or lack of knowledge about an area that you may be interested in. And sometimes we're around people that just have not realized their own potential. And so it is very difficult for them to pour into us. And so not on purpose all the time, their interactions with us are possibly stopping us from moving on to greatness. So what do we do in that case if we cannot see literally? Well, one of the things that we need to do is in the process of opening our eyes, if you will, is put a vision board together. Because just because someone else can't see where you're going doesn't mean it's impossible for you to see where you're going, but you may just have to pull from some other resources. So get a vision board together, look in magazines, look online, look in books, find inspirations to figure out what is this thing. We all have a purpose. We all have things that we are destined to do. And we get in our own way sometimes of thinking it's not possible. So let me sit and just brainstorm. If I didn't have fear as something that would interfere with me, if I didn't feel like I was an imposter, if I didn't feel like I wasn't good enough, if I didn't feel like this was beyond my level, and I just lived in that world of these things are all possible, let me just write out what those things could be and put them on a vision board. And then as I begin to think about, allow myself to dream, if you will, then I may want to get a part of organizations that can encourage me to be able to reach those goals by developing some of the characteristics that I may need in order to be successful. Do I need some leadership skills, for example? Do I need to work better on interacting with other people? Do I need to work on my confidence? Do I need to get around people who are able to teach me how to say things in ways that will draw people in? Do I need to be more polished sometimes in those ways? And so can I get in an organization that may allow me to develop those skills? Because now that I can see where I'm going, now I want to put some things in place to be able to cultivate those potential skills. And then the other thing is that maybe I need to think about who I am around and if I am able to access people that are outside of necessarily the circle that I usually would be a part of. The next thing we want to talk about is that blocked vision, right? So something is interfering with my ability to see. My eyes are working perfectly now. I've got my vision board up, but something is not allowing me to reach these goals, right? So what is that? The negative self-talk. I don't believe in myself. I can't see this happening for me. I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. This happens to other people. They're able to be more successful. They have resources that I didn't have. So I cannot get there. That negative self-talk can absolutely stop us from moving in the direction of our purpose, because we'll talk ourselves out of things that we're destined to be great in. That support system I've already alluded to is not supportive. Maybe you have people that when you try to move in the direction of your purpose, they are literally doing everything that they can to keep you stuck where you are. They are discouraging you from moving forward. They are telling you that this is not a good idea. They are sabotaging things. If you try to launch different events, then they're not coming. They say they're going to help, or they say they're going to support you, but then when it comes down to them actually being there, they're not present at all. It may be comparison behaviors. You may be looking at what other people have and their journeys and thinking, okay, I'm not going to be able to do it like that, or someone else is already doing this, not recognizing that there is space for us to all have products that are similar and still be able to do things that are unique within whatever that purpose and that gift is. So what can we do to manage those things, right? So the negative self-talk, positive affirmations, hands down, is one of the best ways to deal with that. Let me tell myself I matter. Let me tell myself that I can do these things. Let me tell myself that my past does not mean that I can't have a present in this purpose. That just because my life may not have looked like someone else's life doesn't mean I'm any less worthy, any less valuable, any less capable of being able to do that. So we start those days with affirmations and remind ourselves, and we want to tailor those affirmations to whatever we feel like are the issues that are interfering with our worth. So if that negative self-talk is around something that you experienced previously, maybe you had some time you spent in jail, maybe you've had some failed relationships, maybe you've had some failed business ventures, then that positive self-talk needs to be around those things, so we can make sure that we're addressing those issues where there are wounds. Might be also a good time to go to some therapy. This is a way that we can understand what are the dynamics that may be causing me not to move forward, that may be stopping me from being able to walk in this purpose, the things that interfere with me being great, maybe me. And so if I go to therapy, then I can kind of work through what I'm doing that may be interfering with that. You need to be able to visualize yourself as successful. See yourself as accomplishing these things that you want to accomplish. Recognize that you are going to fail. Failure is a part of success. People will tell you they've been homeless. They will tell you that they have lost businesses. They will tell you that they have lost friends. They will tell you that they realize it's not good for them to work with family. Everybody has a story about failure. And sometimes it takes us several failures before we get to one success. But that's what you need to visualize, is the success. Accept that failure is coming and just recognize that I'll have a plan in place for when this failure happens to reevaluate and come back again stronger, because often we learn from the things that we don't do well, that don't end up coming to fruition, more so than we learn from our successes. So don't run from failure. Accept it. Plus, it stops us from getting comfortable, and we need to be able to be more adaptable. Find people that can be mentors and coaches for you. There is someone out there who has done something very similar to what you want to do. If you want to open that business, find someone else who has opened a business. If you're trying to figure out what my skills are, find you a life coach, find a therapist, find someone who can allow you to be able to realize what your skills are. If you're having difficulty even understand what is my purpose, what do I want to do? Recognize that you have to forgive yourself for mistakes that you've made. You have to forgive yourself for not getting some things right. I know a lot of times we think we're being punished for the way we treated people or things that we did early on in our life. And so we have to forgive ourselves. There may be some other people that we need to apologize to, but first, let me take inventory on me. Are there some things that I'm still wrestling with that I haven't forgiven myself for, that are interfering with me being able to see this vision? This is why my vision is blocked. All right. So blurry vision is that third thing. Right. So now I'm at a point where I recognize that I'm able to have this goal. There's something that I want to do, but now it's not fine-tuned enough. So my goal doesn't have the steps, the specific things in place to be able to allow it to happen. This is where sometimes we're aspirational and not really detailed. And when you're talking about reaching your purpose, getting to that point of greatness, you need to be detailed. Some of us are big picture people. We can see the end result, but we have a hard time putting together the steps to get there. In order for you to be whoever it is you're called to be, you need both. So if your vision is blurry because you're having difficulty getting those steps in place, then that may be something that we can address with a plan, right? So what is that plan supposed to look like? First of all, what am I working toward? What exactly do I want to have happen? Let's say I want to open a business. So let me figure out all the steps that I need to open a business. Do I need an accountant? Do I need an attorney? Do I need to figure out where to register my business? How I register my business with the state? Is this this idea I have that I want to brand? How do I market? How do I advertise? Is there something that I want to make sure that no one can take from me? So I need to patent it. So these are some of the things that you need to think about in as you're coming into walking into your vision and purpose. A lot of times we wait, we hold out, or we do a soft start and never really go for anything concrete, and then someone else comes along and they take all of the great work that you have done and it materializes for them and not for you, right? So you want to make sure that you protect yourself in your investment, which means you need to know, what are all of these things? What are all these components that I need to have? And there are people that you can ask. So you don't have to figure that out by yourself. And again, that's where those coaches and those mentors come into place, because they can talk you through how to set these things up, how to get the right accountant for you, how to get the right attorney for you to make sure that you're setting these things up. Or if you're trying to launch podcasts, right? So what are the venues? What are the forums? How do I do that? What kind of equipment do I need? And getting those things in place. Do I need more education in order for this to be able to happen, or certificates, right? Sometimes we have so many different things going on in our mind that it's difficult for us to settle on any one thing. And I will tell you that people start a lot of stuff and don't finish any of it, right? Because there's just too much going on. So what I encourage you to do is walk something through to its completion, or at the very least have phases. Phase one may be this planning that we're talking about, getting the coaches, getting your goals, getting your specific details. Step two may end up being where you launch, right? So you want to make sure that things are launched. And in that phase, if you're using the 2-phase model, there are 3 phases being the assessment at the 3rd level, then make sure that those things are in place before you start something else. Focus on one thing at a time. We think we multitask really well. We really don't. We end up doing a bunch of stuff and not getting anywhere with any one thing. So make sure you're not, your vision isn't blurry because you're trying to do too many things at one time. Right. So there are a lot of resources out there if your vision being blurry is your challenge. We have a podcast In Our Own Defense, myself and attorney Anthony Winters, and our guests for this upcoming week are all people who have either started their own business or launched some kind of organization to help others, and they are talking about those journeys. So we have CEO founders, we have people who have developed their own fitness and training industries, clothing brands. So I encourage you to look at In Our Own Defense podcast as a resource for yourself. You can access that on Spotify, on Anchor, on Apple Podcasts. There are some good examples of people who are walking in their purpose and their different stories to get there. Your story does not have to be the same. These are simply just resources for you. Those are examples of resources. There are other resources out there. People have written books. There are magazines dedicated to this. So again, I just encourage you to utilize every option available to you. But if it is, you cannot see that your vision is blocked or your vision is blurry, I definitely would recommend you try some of these strategies that we discussed. Remember that you have the potential to be whoever it is that you have been called to be, to walk in your purpose. You just have to figure out what's getting in your way. Create a plan to address that. Make sure you have support in place, accountability partners, and that you're constantly monitoring and evaluating. So if you need to make changes, you can. All right. So be great and be encouraged.